Hey guys, happy Sunday. Here we go. Let's do a mat Pilates class. I'm the worst at doing Pilates by myself, so let's do it together, shall we? I'm going to run this like an intermediate class, so lots of abs, lots of burn, but you know, it's easily modified to beginners, just don't work through pain. So stand at the top of your mat, feet parallel, fist distance apart. Stand up tall through the crown of the head, arms by your sides, fingers reaching down to the sides of your feet. Make sure your pelvis is neutral, so hip bones and pubic bone on the same vertical plane here. Ribs down, and think about reaching long through the spine. Take an inhale into your ribs. Feel your ribs expand out laterally. And on your exhale, think about pulling your navel deeper into your spine. Try to maintain that as you inhale. And on this exhale, you'll nod your chin and roll down one vertebra at a time. So this isn't a hamstring stretch. I'm trying to stay engaged through my abdominals. My head is hanging down towards the floor, palms facing each other. Knees are softened, so I'm not just like collapsing. This is actually an articulation of the spine. Exhale on the way back up, not like a hamstring stretch. Inhale, exhale, rolling down. The weight is in your toes. Inhale, nice straight elbows. Rolling back up. I'm super stiff, you guys, so I need this. One last time. And rolling down. And bend your knees and walk out into a plank. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Fingers are fanned out. Bias that pelvis into a posterior tilt. Navel into the spine. Hug those armpits in. Lift one leg up. So careful not to shift your weight to one side. And then you'll tap and lift. So not going beyond extending the hip, just regular extension, squeezing your butt. Last two, last one. Set that foot back down. Opposite leg comes up and tap, lift. So just regular extension. What I'm trying to do is maintain pelvic lumbar stability. Last one, set it down, lower the knees, sit back into your heels just for 1 sec. And then have a seat on your butt. I didn't turn the heat off. It's kind of alarming. I'm just starting and I'm already sweating my ass off. See, this is why I need it. So, feet are parallel, about fist distance apart. I'm not using any props today because I want you guys just to jump on in. Feet are going to be fist distance apart. Where you have your feet is really going to depend on you and your strength. You'll probably adjust as you go. Hold on to the backs of your thighs and use that grasp to lift up through the spine. So we don't want the ribs to flare, but we do want a long spine. Inhale into your ribs just like you did a moment ago. And then exhale. Think about pulling your navel into your spine. And inhale, restack. And exhale. So I'm thinking about pulling my navel in, not collapsing my upper back. Trying to keep my upper back actually neutral, so not like rounding forward for my upper back. Inhale, lift. And exhale, adding on. This is a longer exhale. You might need to adjust your feet here. You're going to roll down, find your sacrum, keeping your feet flat. That's the key detail. Inhale, exhale, rolling up, and lift up through the spine. Exhale. So it's a double breath pattern now. Remember, I'm trying to move from here, not from here. I'm keeping the balls of my big toes down, coming down, down, pause. Inhale, exhale, rolling up. And straighten the spine. One more time like that. Inhale and exhale. Trying to pull in through here. Trying to create as much roundness through my lumbar spine as possible. Coming down to the sacrum, pause. Rolling up. And lift. Go ahead and bring the soles of your feet together. I'm going to assume this is like the first thing you're doing. I've walked Lola twice, but I don't think that counts. I'm pretty stiff. All right, feet flat. This time, you'll bring your arms out in front of you with your palms facing each other. And then on your inhale, you'll lift your arms up. So nice straight spine. Lower the arms around through your lumbar spine. Again, adjust your feet if you need to. I always tend to overshoot. Once your low back touches, bring your arms around, sweep. Rolling up into that C curve. Inhale and lift. and lower, rolling down. Arms come back, circle around. Inhale and lower. Abs pulled in, bring it back, circle around. And inhale, and now lower your arms. Bring your palms together. Rotate so that your hands are to the outside of your right thigh. Roll down. Make sure both hips are even, and you'll pulse up, up. Make sure you're staying heavy in that opposite leg. 3, abs tight, 2, and 1. Back to center, roll it up. Lift on that inhale, bring it down, hands together, rotate to the left or whatever other side. Pause there, make sure this side stays down, try not to twist, and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center, roll it up, and lift. All right, soles of feet together, get a little stretch. All right, feet flat, scoot yourself closer to your heels, and roll it down. See, this is why I have my hair down, because if I'm on ponytail or something, it drives me crazy. All right, so heels should be about a hand's distance away from your butt, not too close, those of you who are like weirdly flexible, and find neutral pelvis again. So pubic bone, hip bones, this time on the same horizontal plane. So you should have a little space between your low back and mat here. Remember, your neutral spine has a curve there. So we're gonna be manipulating your pelvis and moving your spine together. I want you to be really conscious of forcing your back down using your legs or power, and try to keep your shoulders rolled down and away from your ears. Try not to let them shrug up. All right, take an inhale, same thing, into the rib cage, and exhale. I'm thinking about pulling my navel into my spine. So I'm just really trying to think about pelvic floor here, almost like I'm trying to suck my lower abs in as deeply as I can, and then inhale, relax. See how my belly doesn't rise? I expand, but I'm not like, you know, like that, like completely relaxing. And exhale. So I'm just really trying to get those lower abdominals engaged. Right now I'm really tight, so I'm not moving very much on that, but that's okay, that's not the point. Inhale, relax, and this time you'll exhale, do the same thing, and then just rock your pelvis back slightly and roll up through the spine. So it's the same top position as like a glute bridge, but you're not squeezing your butt. You're in a posterior tilt, so that means that your pubic bone is higher than your hip bones, ribs are down. Remember, you shouldn't be like this. Inhale, and then exhale, you articulate down. So that's also how it's not like a glute bridge, because it's not a hinge. Rolling down, all the way down to tailbone. Inhale, exhale. Try to initiate by pulling your low abs in tight, trying to get your navel to touch the mat, and then rolling up one vertebra at a time. So right now my low back feels like a flat board, and that's fine. It's kind of the whole point of warming up. All the way back down, inhale. We'll get 2 more. So regardless of the level class I'm teaching, these are pretty much the exercises that always are there or are present in some form or another. Some plank variation, not always that one. Inhale and exhale. Rolling up. Find that top position, inhale, and exhale, rolling down. So this is just to gain some mobility and movement in your lower back, which will help you later. Interlace your fingers behind the back of your head, thumbs at the base of the skull, your lower body's in the same position. Very important that you try to keep a flat pelvis here. So don't try to tuck your pelvis, because you've heard in the past that that's what you're supposed to do is in abs. Yes, you're supposed to have a flat back, but not because you force it down, because your abs expand. Inhale, exhale, lift head, neck, and chest. So looking at your lap, you should make sure that this did not pop up. Inhale, deepen, and then lower with control. So I'm actually trying to keep myself stable from the navel down. Exhale, lift head, neck, and chest. But because my chest is lifting, my lower back is naturally going to lower, because I'm not in neutral spine anymore. Inhale, deepen, but I'm keeping neutral pelvis the whole time. Remember, in your bottom position, this isn't rest. This is just a different phase. Exhale, lifting up. So kind of like tightening a spring. Inhale, tighten a little bit more. And then on your exhale, you're trying to lengthen the spring, but not completely collapse. Adding on, inhale and exhale. Lift head, neck, and chest. Inhale, deepen. Bring your arms around this time. Hold on to the backs of your thighs. Pull yourself in just a smidge. Fight gravity. Bring those arms back around. Interlace your fingers behind the back of the head. And lower down with control. You're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Lift head, neck, and chest. Inhale, deepen. Bring those arms around. So again, I'm keeping my pelvis totally flat. Just a light grasp on my legs. I'm going to pull myself in. Bring those arms back around. Find the back of the head. And lower with control. Inhale. And last time, exhale, lift. Inhale, deepen. Bring the arms around. Hold on. Pull yourself in. Pull yourself in a little bit more, but I'm not going beyond my lowermost rib. And then you'll bring your arms around. Find the back of your head. Hold it there. Up a little more. Up a little more. Up a little more. And pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. We're adding on. This is going to be a little more intermediate. Exhale, lift. Inhale, deepen. And I'll lift one leg at a time up into tabletop position and pull those knees together. If you're shaking, you're doing it right. And then without letting your lower back leave the floor, you're going to inhale, hinge down from the hips. Exhale, lift back up. Inhale, lower. So I'm not quite touching the floor because to do so would pull my pelvis, and I'm trying to keep neutral pelvis, whatever that means for me. Sucks. 2 more. Try not to over squeeze your hip flexors. Think about pulling in from your low abs. Last one. Lower one foot and then the other. Inhale, lift a little higher. Keep that pelvis neutral and lower with control. Going into chest lift with rotation. Exhale, lift. Inhale, deepen. Rotate your nose towards your left thigh. Extend your right leg. Slice that thigh. Bring the hand back. Come back to center. Other side. So you see I'm not twisting all the way onto that shoulder blade. I'm keeping both of my ribs pointed towards this thigh. Extend your left arm. Slice the right thigh. Bring that hand back. Come back to center. Rotate. Extend. Slice. Back and center. Rotate. Extend. Take your time. Back and center. Each movement is punctuated. Extend. Slice. Back and center. You should be feeling this. Extend. Slice. Back and center. Last set. Extend. Back and center. Rotate. Keeping those ribs down. Keeping my shoulder blades off the mat. Back and center. Hold it there. Remember, you're cradling your head here. And pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Okay, let's do a little hamstrings. So you're in your pelvic curl position again. That's what we did as soon as we lay on our backs pretty much. All right, so inhale, prepare, coming up into your pelvic curl. Exhale, pull your abs down and roll up. Hopefully by this point you're feeling that your spine is more fluid. That's kind of the whole point. All right, so the key is to not let your pelvis shift. You're going to bring one leg into tabletop position. Inhale down, exhale up. So this is again pelvic lumbar stability. I'm making sure not to let that right hip drop. And now going into shoulder bridge. Extend that knee up, lower the leg, pause, flex and kick up, point lower, flex, kick, point lower, flex, kick, hold it there, point, and pulse 3, 2, 1, bend, toe ball, heel, pause there. If you hear my knee cracking, that was years of running. Opposite leg comes up. This is my side that cramps, so come on, right side, you can do it. Shoulder bridge, prep, down and up, last, down and up, shoulder bridge, extend, lower, flex, kick, lower, flex, kick, last, lower, flex, kick, lower that foot down, toe ball, heel, and exhale, roll down. Extend those legs out for the roll up. Arms back. I'm in a very small space, so I try not to kill myself here or strangle myself with one of these cords. Exhale, roll up. So we want to be in a C curve at the top. We're not reaching forward. Kind of see the end of my life. Okay, hug those shoulders in, and then just like we did before, you're going to articulate down through your lower spine. See how my arms stay the same length? On that same exhale. Inhale, exhale, roll up. So if this exercise is difficult for you, you're not alone. It's difficult. Actually holding on to like a 5 to 8 pound dumbbell can help a lot. But see how I'm trying to move from here, and the rest of my spine is just kind of going along for the ride. Inhale, rolling up. Find that C curve. Abs pulled up and in. Rolling down and back. We're going to add on at the top. Exhale. Inhale, pause. This time you're going to come back a little more slowly, and you're going to try to find what I call your sticking point. And that's where you're about to lose it. Hold it there. Up a tiny bit, down a tiny bit, up a tiny bit, down a tiny bit, up a tiny bit, down, up all the way. Inhale, and then you'll come back all the way. And now we're going to do the same thing on the way up, which is decidedly worse. Pause. Whew. Basically right after liftoff for most people. Up a tiny bit, down a tiny bit, up a tiny bit, down a tiny bit, up, down, up all the way. Bring the soles of your feet together. I did not turn the heat off soon enough. It's hot in here. That's okay. I'm gonna make it work. All right, back support. This is like a reverse plank. Very, very good for your shoulders, your wrists, and all that jazz. So fingers are pointing in towards your hips. You can have them out to the side if you wish, but do try to work your way into this position. If you need to roll up the mat, that's another way that you can build up wrist strength and mobility to get into this position. So it's a lot of tricep here. So push through the heels of the hands and make sure you have those elbows extended and collarbone open. Toes are lengthened, or ankles I should say. Exhale. So try to touch your toes to the mat and down to a hover. Touching the toes to the mat and down to a hover. And up. Nice length through the hips and down. See, I'm not bending my neck, but I am allowing my neck to stay in line with the rest of my spine. And last time, stay long through those ankles. Try to touch the mat and down all the way. Roll out those wrists. Okay, we're gonna go into the rollover. I think this is like a plow in yoga or some shit. I'm not sure. It's a little different in Pilates. It always is. We're just trying to be different. We are different. I didn't mean that to sound like we're trying to copy yoga, because that's absolutely not the case. Okay. So, if you have neck issues, do this one cautiously. You don't have to come all the way back on your neck too if you're not comfortable with that just yet. And make sure that you don't have a bun or ponytail or something back here that's propping your head in an awkward angle, because that can be really bad for your neck. Okay. You will need your triceps more than you think here. All right, one leg at a time. Comes up into tabletop. Hug those knees together. Extend the legs out to 45 degrees. Inhale up to 90, and then use your low abs and triceps to bring those legs back. And we're going to deconstruct it. So just stay there for now, meaning with your legs, and then just roll down one vertebra at a time. Especially when this is all I'm doing in that day. In other words, I haven't been moving around much. Circle the legs around. Ooh, dicey. Circle the legs around. Come up to 90. I ease my way into this because it is such a big stretch on your back. Now dorsiflex your ankles. So pull your toes towards your shins, hamstrings, and roll down. And I'm trying to keep my legs as close to my face as I can, which is really challenging. Then just lower down, come back up to 90, adding on again, flex, separate the legs to shoulder width this time, and roll down. Try not to overflex your quads. Point, circle around, inhale up to 90 again, and back, and the full rollover. Flex, open, now tap the floor behind you, and then roll down, one vertebra at a time. Tailbone touches, we point, circle, lift to 90, flex, open, stay active in those shoulders, and tap down, and point, circle, lift, last time. Ooh, I needed this. Flex, open, tap. Whew, that was sloppy, I'm doing it again. See how my fingers bounced? Sloppy bitch. And point, circle, and pull it in. I just rest for a second. So we're gonna do some more ab shit. And then we'll do some hip shit. Just shit in general. Okay. So, this is gonna be an ab series. If you don't do a lot with your head, neck, and chest lifted, you will probably need to take some rest for your neck. Your neck muscles, like any other muscles, they'll get fatigued. And you can always just cradle the back of your head like so. Because that's really, anytime we hold the back of the head, that's actually what we're trying to do. But just rest when you need to. Okay, this is gonna suck. It's gonna be fun. Lift one leg at a time to tabletop. Lift head, neck, and chest. Right hand on your right knee, left hand on your left knee. You're looking forward, not up. And then inhale, reach long. So biceps by the ears, sweep around. So my head, neck, and chest are not changing position. Just my arms and legs. Last two. Last one. Transfer the hands onto the right knee. Make sure these legs are the same length, so not up and not down like that. Press down lightly and switch. So see that this knee is 90 degrees. It's not tucking into my chest, and that's so I can keep my pelvis as neutral as possible. Last one and one. Right knee comes to tabletop, hands behind the back of the head. Now try to reach your sternum towards that right thigh and switch. Shoulder blades stay off the mat. 4 and 5 and 5. Back to center. Hug it in. That was good. Let's roll over onto your side. I was going to do more, but I'm kind of gassed, to tell you the truth. Okay, so let's do side bend. I was going to take it easy on you. Fuck you. Just kidding. Fuck us. Fuck us all. This is side plank up on your hand. So if you're not used to being in this position, you got to kind of work your way up to it. You can always modify by having your top leg extended like that, and that way you just come up onto this knee. Also, rolling up your mat will take some tension out of your wrist. The full version, your top ankle is crossed over your bottom ankle, and this arm is out at a little bit of an angle. If you can get into the position and do like 1 or 2 with good form before it starts to hurt, just do that and then work your way up to getting more reps in, because it's better that you get a couple really awesome reps at good form with the right form rather than just modifying every time. Okay, also lifters, strong people, most people, you're going to want to push off of your legs with this one because it's most accessible to you. It's helpful for me to think about trying to lift myself straight up to the ceiling versus like pushing myself out this way. Okay, so this arm is here. Make sure your ribs are stacked, let's say, so not like hanging out like that. All right, exhale, straight up, and then rotate this hand so it's over your head, and then arc up and over. So try to avoid crossing your head. This is lateral flexion for your torso. Bring that hand back to where it was, lower back down, try not to push off your legs. Just gonna do 2 more. Turn this hand, arc up and over, back to a T, lower down, 1 more time, rotate, arc up and over, looking down at that hand, back to a T, and lower down. I don't think you guys can hear, but they're snoring, and it's the cutest thing that ever happened to anybody. So cute. Okay, so let's do some glute work on this side. This is for your gluteus medius, this upper part of your ass that's lazy as fuck. So you're gonna bring your bottom leg so it's in line with the mat. So in other words, my shin is flush with the edge of my mat, and my thigh is parallel to the top of my mat. This arm is extended underneath me, so I don't want to see any of this bullshit. Well, I'm not seeing what you're doing, but I'll be able to tell. Trust me. Palm is up here. I know it's out of the frame. And then just like with the last exercise, I told you to kind of stack your ribs, you got to do the same thing here, because your abs are going to be working to keep you from swinging around. So make sure you don't do that. Okay, so your top leg comes up just to hip height, and then you're going to turn the big toe and the kneecap down to the floor, and then you'll lower and lift, lower and lift. So you see I'm not swinging my leg around. That's my favorite thing to see when people are working their glutes. I'm trying to keep pelvic lumbar stability. That's how my abs are working. And also this way I can make sure that I'm working the correct part of my glute. So I'm not letting this hip collapse up here. I'm keeping my hips stacked evenly. Last 2, no swinging. Last 1, hold the leg at hip height. Now bring the leg forward, tap down, lift straight up, bring it straight back. So it's like half a rectangle, down, up, and back. So generally in Pilates, well, I don't want to say that because that's not always true, but we punctuate a lot of movements, especially in the style that I do, because it makes it harder. So you don't use momentum. Forward, down, up, straight back. Forward, down, up, and back. Make sure that big toe is pointed down, up, and back. Here's 3. My counting sucks. Sorry if this is all whatever. 2, straight back. Squeeze your glute on the way back. Last 1. Up and back. Now bring the leg forward. Make sure that toe is down and pulse for 8, 7, 6. Try not to bounce. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last little bit. Hover this leg over your bottom leg and then lift up and lower. So you see I'm not moving my body around. I'm staying stable in my torso. Up and down. Up and down. Not collapsing here. 3, 2, and 1. Hopefully you felt it right across that top butt cheek. If you didn't, what's your problem? You should have definitely felt that. You just really gotta watch out in Pilates for like using too much momentum. The movements are supposed to be small and subtle for a reason, because we're all a bunch of weak ass cheaters. It's true. All right, let's do side bend on this side. So, same thing, although you might find you're weaker on one side than the other. Ooh, that ass cheek is angry. Okay, so 45 degrees, this arm is hovered above your legs, top ankle over the bottom ankle, stack your ribs, and remember we're moving straight up, not pushing out. Inhale, prepare, up into that plank, rotate this hand back, arc up and over, looking down at that hand, ooh, back to a T, and lower to a hover. I hit the counter. Up, rotate, arc over, ooh, back to a T, and lower down. Better my hand than my head. Rotate, arc up and over, ooh, and lower all the way down. Okay. series right here. So, bottom leg, just like before, flush against the edge of the mat. Hand is up, head on your bicep. This top leg is hovered up just in line with your hips. If your lower butt cheek is still angry, that's not your imagination. It's because glute med is a mover and a stabilizer. So this bottom one was already working as a mover, and now it's stabilizing, so it's extra pissed. And this one's gonna be pissed too. Rotate that toe down, lower and lift, lower and lift. So again, I'm thinking about doing very slow, I don't wanna say slow, controlled, precise movements. And I'm trying not to swing my leg around. I'm trying to keep the rest of my body still. And that's how you can get your core to work more in literally anything you do. And you can also make your ab exercises start working for you instead of trashing your neck and your back. Here's 3. This is my sleepier side. 2. So I think about lifting my heel to the ceiling. That helps me a lot. Bring the leg back to hip height. Bring the leg forward, down, up, straight, back, like a rectangle. Forward, down, up, and back. Forward, down, up, and back. Forward, down, up, and back. So there's always takes a little while for me to get this side. It actually helps me to squeeze my butt on this side. I don't normally endorse doing that, but otherwise I tend to just feel a lot in my quad. Down, up, and back. Last 2. Helps to put your hand on the top of your butt too, because then you'll be able to start connecting with a muscle that's supposed to be doing its fucking job right now. Now bring the leg forward, toe down, and pulse for 10. Oop. No, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I fucked that up. It was supposed to be 8. We gotta keep these ass cheeks even, man. Bring that top leg hovered over the bottom one. See how I'm just rotating the leg? I'm not like throwing my whole body into it. That's how it's supposed to be. 3, 2, and 1. So angry. Okay, I'm gonna move over here because I think it's easier for you to see me. So we always try to get some kind of like flexion, lateral flexion, rotation. Always try to make sure that we're getting a very balanced workout between all of the different planes of motion. So now, we get to do back extension, which is my least favorite because I suck at it. So this one's my favorite though, so we're gonna do it. This is double leg kick. So you're gonna set one cheek onto the mat, doesn't matter which one because we're gonna switch them out. And then your knees are bent, and then carefully bring your hands behind your back and try to set your arms down on the mat. So if you can't touch your arms down on the mat, that is, then just adjust your hands to where you can. Okay, so now push your pubic bone down into the floor so that your knees lift up. And that should make it hard immediately, as in difficult. And then you're gonna pulse the knees, 3, 2, 1. Extend your legs out to a hover. And then extend your elbows, thumbs to bum, and you kind of float up. And then fold back in, other cheek, lift those knees up, 3, 2, 1. Extend and float. And other side again, lift those knees up, 3, 2, 1, extend. So if your whole body is shifting when you're doing that, you are not doing a very good job. Lift the knees up, and 3, 2, 1, float. Lower down onto your forearms and sit back into your heels. Anytime you do back extension, you should follow with this, just to help relax those back extensors a little bit. Okay. So, coming back into your plank now, we're going to do front support. So hands underneath your shoulders, extend one leg back, and then the other, and hold it there. Eyes into posterior tilt. Make sure those elbows are straight. Bring one leg underneath you at 90 degrees. So not like a mountain climber. My shin is like kind of brushing the floor. and bring that leg back. Other side. Trying to keep pelvic lumbar stability. Last set. Last one. Separate your legs a little wider. Sit your hips up. And then walk your hands in towards your feet and roll up. And we're back where we started. So we'll do a roll down and that'll be it. Feet parallel, fist distance apart, arms by your sides, palms facing in, take an inhale. Exhale. Nod your chin and roll down. Oh yeah. Big, big change in my range of motion. Which is nice. And one more time. Rolling down. And rolling back up. How long did that take? That wasn't bad. Like 30 some minutes. Thank you for those who joined me. I was all the way back there, so I couldn't see what the fuck was going on up here. I hope you actually did the workout. Thanks for joining. I'm going to try to do these every Sunday, but I'm horrible at being consistent with Pilates. Maybe you guys will help me be consistent by telling me to do this more often and actually making me get off my ass. See you guys later. Happy Sunday.